Let's observe silence for some time. Oh, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6. We'll chant from verse number 21 to 26.
सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्तत् बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियम् वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायम् स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः यं लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभं मन्यते नाधिकं ततः यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन गुरुणापि विचाल्यते तं विद्या दुःखसंयोग वियोगं योगसंज्ञितम् स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यः योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा सङ्कल्पप्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामम् विनियम्य समन्ततः शनैः शनैरुपरमेत् बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत् यतो यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम् ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्
Last week we covered verse number 22 of chapter 6. Chapter 6 is called Dhyana Yoga. And having obtained which, I am reading the translation, we can recap main points. And having obtained which he thinks no other gains superior to it, wherein established he is not moved even by great sorrow. So there are two main points which we learn here. That the bliss of spiritual path, the bliss of self-realization, that's what he's talking about. Not only it is highest, but it is complete. The peace, happiness which you experience in this world is not permanent. It is passing. It's a temporary concept. It's a temporary phenomena, rather. There is always something higher. You get X, you want X plus 1. And even if you get what you want and it satisfies you for the time being, the void remains, the incompleteness remains throughout your life. And there is no cessation. We discussed the example of Krishna and seven heavens. It's a story, it's a funny story, but it applies to all of us. And the second important point is, wherein established he is not moved even by great sorrow. I'm just recapping it, was explained in detail last week. So when he says you're not moved by great sorrow, it's the ultimate test for all of us. To what extent you are ruffled by the world, by the challenges of life, at home, at work, anywhere. If a small challenge is rattling you, then you know you have a long way to go. But if you have the capacity to deal with even the greatest challenge, then you know you are on the right path. It's a very useful and practical test for all of us. Otherwise, how would you know that you are heading in the right direction? You are getting established in the spiritual path, isn't it? So there has to be a correlation between your sadhana, meaning your efforts, and the peace which you experience in life. The capacity to deal with challenges of life. There has to be a correlation. If there is no correlation, that means something is going wrong with your efforts. So therefore, he gives that parameter. He is not moved even by the great sorrow. So obviously, you feel joy and sorrow. It's not that you become a statue. But you're not affected by joy and sorrow. So you need to understand the difference. If you do not experience joy and sorrow, I mean, you're a stone, you're a piece of wood. If you're affected by joy and sorrow, then you're an animal, you're not a human being. Animals, they don't have capacity to manage their emotions, either positive or negative. As a human being, we have this capacity not to be affected by joy and sorrow. That doesn't mean, I'm repeating, you don't experience joy, you don't experience sorrow. Life goes on as usual. That is what it means. So now you find out by your own life, where do you stand? If small challenges are bothering you, it is affecting your day-to-day functioning, you're having sleepless nights, it's okay to accept it. There's nothing wrong with that. But at least you know that, yes, I have to work on myself. And fortunately, as a human being, we have that capacity. And this is where knowledge helps, the knowledge of Vedanta, which we are studying. So once you experience the higher values of life, this is what we are studying, this is what scriptures are telling us. Peace it brings to you, the harmony it brings in your life, the fulfillment it brings in your life. Once you experience it, why would you go back to life of lower values? Isn't it? See, imagine you have been living in slums. Just imagine. There's no proper hygiene. The basic things are missing there. You know, no proper food. Drinking water is of very low quality. You know, all that, whatever goes with that. So once you come out of that, I mean, why would you go back to that life? None of us would do that, isn't it? Here we are so comfortable, you know, heated homes. Each one has got one or two bathrooms, clean, all the comforts of life are there, which all of us are enjoying. Why would we go back to slums? So similarly, ignorant people, they are living in spiritual slums. It's that life, hellish life, which we often refer to. Worry, anxiety, stress, conflicts, confrontation, because of lower values, because of no knowledge, because of ignorance. So once you taste the life of higher values, this is what we all are trying to do. Why would you go back to the life of mental agitations and disharmony? But you need to get a taste of that. That is important. And it is commensurate with your efforts. It's not in black and white. We always keep on repeating this statement. If it were in black and white, then what we are studying is all theory. Who knows what is the bliss of self-realization? Only those who have reached that state, they know that you and I have no access to it. But to the extent you are established in this knowledge, the higher values, to that extent you can experience the change it brings in your life. Isn't it? I don't see any reaction. Anyway, I done my job. What are you talking? No, I haven't experienced anything. I haven't changed. All I can say is like, wish you all the best. It's the right occasion, Thanksgiving, it's very auspicious time to plunge into it full time. Verse number 23, please.
तं विद्या दुःखसंयोग वियोगं योगसंज्ञितम् स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यः योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा तं विद्या दुःखसंयोग वियोगं योगसंज्ञितम् स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यः योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा.
Let that be known as the yoga of severance from the union with pain. That yoga should be practiced with determination, nishayena, conviction, and with an undespairing mind. Meaning mind which does not waver. There is consistency in your efforts. So you have conviction and you are consistent in your efforts. Now, what is telling us is it's all poetry. You feel sorrow, you feel mental agitations because you identify with body, mind, intellect. We have been saying this repeatedly. Every human being has a capacity to identify either with your material equipments, which is body, mind, intellect, or the self, the spirit, or the God principle in you. That's the magic of human life. So you can identify with either of these. You have been given that choice. If you identify with body, mind, intellect, it will produce mental agitations. It's a law of life. But if you identify, if you focus on the self in you, that spirit in you, then nothing from the world can bother you. Again, it is not in black and white. To the extent you are established in this knowledge, to that extent you will not be harassed by the world. But somebody who is completely ignorant, he is ruffled by the world 24/7, day in and day out. This is what we see. It all depends on where is your focus. If you are focused on body, whatever happens to your body happens to you. Weather fluctuates, it bothers you. You're not well, it bothers you. Some people, they blow it out of proportion, everything. Some headache, some fever, and what fuss they make, but it is bothering them because total identification with body. If you identify with mind, you are victimized by emotions, all the time tossed by your emotions. If you identify with your intellect, you are harassed by honor and dishonor. So world will affect body, mind, intellect. But world cannot affect the self in you, the God principle in you. So you have that choice. And with your efforts, with your sadhana meaning your spiritual efforts, you get established in this knowledge step by step, gradually. And to the extent you are established in this knowledge, in these values, higher values, to that extent you will be free from mental agitations, relatively speaking. But the problem with you and I is that I is so much constantly like that me. And nowadays it is to the point of sickening, sickening to see that. You can't even address somebody's dog as he. How is he? No, they. Fine, we are destroying us. At least leave your pets alone. They're having such a good time, poor things. Why you want to spoil their life? That me, me. Innocently it is happening due to ignorance. The bottom line of that I is infatuation with your personality, body, mind, intellect. And you find out from the world, whoever you find is, they have that pronounced I, they are disturbed. They themselves do not know what is happening to them. This is the bane of modern generation, modernization. I think I have mentioned this, again I am repeating. Some people, they ask me sometimes, I don't know what's wrong with my kids. Nothing is wrong with them. That I is the problem. And they are victimized by the environment. The word which we use is mahat. It's all about I. So therefore, any human being who is obsessed with I, meaning body, mind, intellect, will go through mental turmoil. So when it is magnified, we understand. But it is happening to all of us. So you have that choice. Either identify with body, mind, intellect, or the God principle in you. And how you do that, this is what we are studying. You don't have to worry about how can I identify with self or God principle in you. This is the theme. This is the theme of Bhagavad Gita. This is what we are studying. So automatically, you are getting established in that thought if you are consistent in your efforts. And you don't need too much of knowledge to get established on the thought of the self. Other way of explaining is you don't need too much of Vedanta to manage your life. 20%, 30% is enough to have a smooth life. Because most of the challenges which we face in our day-to-day life, they're not big challenges. Most of them, they are small challenges, they're petty challenges, isn't it? 90% of them, 95% of what we face. For that, 20, 30% of this knowledge is enough. Just deal with great challenges like situation like war and all that. Definitely, you need more knowledge. It goes without saying. Or to deal with the loss of your family member, you need to be really established. But it doesn't happen daily basis. Are you following what I am saying? So a little bit of this knowledge, if you get put efforts, if you are sincere, you will have a smooth and beautiful life. Then the question is, why do people not take to this knowledge? Are you getting the thought flow? If this knowledge, the knowledge of scriptures, knowledge of Vedanta is the solution to have a beautiful life, a life of peace, life of harmony, life of productivity, fulfillment, then why do people not take to the knowledge of Vedanta? Question is open to the group. There is no point you and I glorifying about this knowledge because we know what it is. But you can't convince anybody. Perhaps even your spouse you can't convince. Your children you can't tell them to take to this knowledge. The question is, why do people not take the knowledge of Vedanta? Is my question.
Maybe fear, losing their identity, the ego.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a lot of desires from the world, and they think happiness is there, and they keep looking there all the time.
Yes.
They
Correct.
don't believe that it will help. They don't believe.
Why don't they? Answer is correct, but why don't they believe?
Out of ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
We keep running after the worldly things that give us happiness, which is temporary, goes away. Then we run after the other thing, and we really lack of knowledge, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
Josh Billings, Amiji, the trouble with most folks is not so much their ignorance as they're knowing so many things which ain't so. Does it apply here?
Yeah, definitely. Ego, that's what somebody said. That's Amanda, that was her answer. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ego. That's what she said.
Because they're too busy in the daily chores of the familyhood. And I think the Vedanta should be taught probably right from the beginning in the schools. So maybe by the time they are grown up, things will materialize better.
That will be heaven on earth. Whom are you going to convince? When we can't even convince our own spouses. It's the ideal situation, of course. So all these are correct answers. See, the difficulty is, the main problem is, they don't understand Vedanta as instruction manual for life. When I say Vedanta, meaning knowledge of the scripture. They don't understand it provides knowledge of life and living. It is an instruction manual for life. Because any religion has been reduced to blind faith,
Rituals.
mechanical rituals, or superstitious beliefs. Any religion in the world, there is no exception. Either people follow something blindly, it's a blind faith, or they are caught up in mechanical rituals or superstitious beliefs. Hardly anyone goes to the knowledge, the philosophy. Every religion has got philosophy. And that philosophy is common to all religions. That philosophy is nothing but Sanatana Dharma, eternal principles of life and living. That is the soul, the foundation of any religion. Hardly anybody goes to that, takes to the study of philosophy. Number one. Number two, people cannot correlate their problems to ignorance of this knowledge. That is another problem. Whatever is happening to me in life, let's say I'm going through stress, worry, anxiety, conflicts, confrontations in my life, there is no harmony. If I understand it is because of lack of this knowledge, I don't have knowledge of Vedanta, I mean, why will not I take it up? But people, they don't correlate. They don't understand whatever is happening to them in their life is due to the ignorance of this knowledge, isn't it? And so the moment you understand this, you will take to this knowledge with conviction. Therefore, he says Nishchayena. But the problem is they don't understand that Vedanta religion is nothing but knowledge of life and living. I was with one family in Canada a few weeks back. I know them for a long time. Lovely family. So they told me to talk to their son, who is 21, 22. They said he has a lot of questions. So now that you are visiting us, I had dinner with them. A couple of hours I spent with them. So why don't you, he has many questions, that boy. And then he started asking questions to me. I got really, I said like, wow, youngster, if he understands, his whole life can change. So that's the beauty at that age. If it really hits you, the whole life can be transformed. And then I was shocked when he started asking me questions. He said, Amitji, should I wear one thread or two threads on my hand? Holy thread. My mom is saying you should wear two. My dad is saying you should wear one. My grandmother is saying, you should wear on both the hands. That was his question number one. Second question was, is it really necessary for me to fast? My mother is after me that once in 10 days on whatever holy day you should fast. All 5-6 questions, all like, do you believe there is life after death? 6-7 questions he asked me is all nothing but blind faith and superstition. And I don't blame him, poor guy. From where has he heard all these things? From his parents and from his grandparents. Well-meaning, they love him. So therefore, go back to the original statement. Any religion has been reduced to blind faith, mechanical rituals, and superstitious beliefs. If you take away these three things, there is no religion left. Of course, it is left, which is nothing but philosophy, which who goes to philosophy? Knowledge. That's the problem. So the moment you understand this, that Vedanta is nothing but knowledge of life and living. If I want to be peaceful, if I want to be productive, if I want to be successful, if I want fulfillment in my life, this is the source. So once you understand that, nishchayena, with determination, with conviction, till then conviction will not come. And another point, and it's a very valid point, scriptures are not easy to understand. If you read Bhagavad Gita on your own, if you try to read Bhagavad Gita on your own, it is impossible for you to understand. If you pick up Bible on your own, what will you understand? Yes, something you will get definitely, but it's not easy to understand. Thirdly, original scriptures were tampered with, because all these great men, they did not write any book. In fact, there were no books that time. They just gave out this knowledge. And it's the followers who compiled it, or whatever, they scribbled something down, and then later on it was presented as scriptures. But how much of original is there? How much of adulterated version is there? Adulterated version meaning you and I. We bring in our own philosophy into that, which is nothing but ignorance. That is the main problem. But fortunately, in India, this knowledge has been preserved. In spite of 2,500 years of invasion, how this knowledge survived is a miracle. Don't ask me. It should not have survived. This good amount of was lost, is lost, but still what is left for us is amazing. And that is where Swamiji's contribution comes. He has made this knowledge accessible for the modern generation. Systematic and methodic presentation of Vedanta. If you ask me what to study, I will say Bhagavad Gita Upanishad. This is, he has commented on the 4 principal Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. There is nothing beyond that, but it's not enough. So therefore, so many books, systematic presentation of this knowledge. And the main book is Vedanta Treatise. I keep on repeating. It's the gist of all the religions in the world, all the philosophies of the world. Anybody who masters that book, you don't need anything beyond that book. So the problem is scriptures are not easy to understand. The language is not easy to understand. It's like Shakespeare. It's a gold mine, isn't it? But how many of us can directly understand Shakespeare? I mean, I had done Shakespeare when I was in college, 11, 12. It used to be, we used to read that, oh my God, How this, we used to make fun. That time we were 16, 17, no intellect. But now we understand, we often keep on quoting Shakespeare. It's a gold mine, but you cannot directly understand. It has to be explained to us. So similarly, the knowledge, the language of the scriptures is abstruse. Somebody has to decode it for us, and that to the right person has to do that. And it is not systematically, methodically available. It used to be once upon a time, but it is lost. That systematic study of this knowledge is lost due to the long lapse of time. So due to this, people, all these reasons, ordinary person does not take to the study of the scriptures. You cannot blame them. But once you take a plunge, this is what we all are trying to do, then you experience peace, fulfillment, harmony in your life. It gives you that intellectual clarity which you can apply in all facets of your life. That's the main message. It's not Study of Vedanta is not some emotional satisfaction. It gives you clarity. It should give you clarity if you put right efforts. And with that clarity, your life becomes smooth wherever you apply. Your personal life will become smooth. Your profession becomes smooth. The way you manage your health, the way you manage your finances, all facets of your life, you have that clarity. And it's a lifelong effort. It concludes only when you hit 100% mark. What is 100% mark? The state of self-realization. You don't have to worry about state of self-realization. Self-realization is 100% improvement. Why worry about 100% when you and I are at 10%, 20%? Can we not focus on becoming 30% better human beings? Isn't it? Okay, if we are at 30%, 40%, 50, 60. So it's a lifelong journey. It's a fascinating journey. Because as you get into this journey, your life becomes beautiful. I say beautiful meaning free of stress, strain, not caught up in petty, non-essential of life, which ignorant people are going through. So therefore, he says, Nishchayena, with conviction you should follow this knowledge. How that conviction comes, we already explained. And second thing is undespairing mind. Undespairing mind meaning consistency. Otherwise, you're not consistent in your efforts. So how do you become consistent in your efforts? Of course, you need that conviction. But once you taste this knowledge and what it brings to your life, why will you not be consistent? Isn't it? So now you read the translation. It makes sense. Let that be known as the yoga of severance from the union with pain, free from mental agitations. That's what it means. That yoga, meaning efforts, should be practiced with determination and with an undespairing mind. So these are some of the main points in verse number 23. Verse number 24, please.
सङ्कल्पप्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामम् विनियम्य समन्ततः सङ्कल्पप्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामम् विनियम्य समन्ततः.
Abandoning without reserve all desires born of sankalpa, thoughts, and completely restraining the group of senses from all quarters by the mind. See, we are talking about meditation. This chapter is Dhyana Yoga, meditation. So, elimination of all desires is a prerequisite for meditation. Take it or leave it. If you have not eliminated all your desires, you cannot meditate. It is cause and effect. You may meditate, but you will not be able to meditate because desires are very much there. So therefore, elimination of all desires is not few desires are left. All desires are gone. The only desire left is desire for spiritual enlightenment. Only such a seeker can meditate, or that is meditation. That's what he's telling us. But what is happening to you and me? We need to analyze. Why can't we do that? We all would want to do this. Only desire which is left is desire for self-realization, and we all are meditating, but it's not going to happen. By wishing it to happen, it's not going to happen, isn't it? So why it is happening? Where are we faltering? What is happening to us internally is we have to understand. So what scriptures are telling us that our original nature is all full. Paripurna, you should learn that word. Purna means full, whole, complete. Pari means all. Paripurna, all full, whole, complete. So our original nature is paripurna, all full. Nothing is lacking there. State of absolute peace, absolute bliss. But ignorance of your original nature produces a void, a sense of incompleteness. And to fulfill that sense of incompleteness, thoughts, they start going to the worldly objects and beings. And when that thought flow becomes thicker, it is called as desires. Are you following the thought flow? Our original nature is paripurna, all full. But we are ignorant of it. Ignorance produces the void. There is no void. Actually, there is no void. It is ignorance which produces void, meaning something is missing in my life, sense of incompleteness. So to remove that incompleteness, imaginary, actually it is imaginary incompleteness, our thoughts, they start going to the objects and beings of the world. We believe if we acquire and enjoy them, that incompleteness will be removed. So we keep on sending thoughts to the world, objects and beings of the world. And when that thought flow is really thick, that thick thought flow flowing from you to the objects and beings of the world is called as desires. And therefore you become sensually indulgent and emotionally attached. You get the root cause. Somebody may say, no, I'm a very disciplined person, I am not sensual, right? Fine, perfect. But such a person could be completely emotionally attached to children, grandchildren, spouse. You getting it? So either you become sensually indulgent or emotionally attached. 99% of the cases, it is both. And that agitates you throughout your life. The unfulfilled desires, they produce mental agitations. You want to acquire, enjoy, and acquisition, enjoyment, that pursuit is endless. If you acquire temporary satisfaction, but you want to acquire more, again you try to enjoy. How long can you enjoy? Again, you find the whole thing very insipid. So it agitates you. Unfulfilled desires produce mental agitations, due to which you cannot contemplate, meditate, you cannot be consistent in your spiritual path. Are you getting the connection? Last verse he told us, Nishchayena, and with undespairing mind. You should have that conviction, you should have that consistency. But why can't you be consistent? Because of your sensual indulgences or your emotional disturbances. And what is the root cause? That chain I explained just now. And that agitates you throughout your life. Therefore, you need this knowledge. You and I need this knowledge. Somebody has to tell that to us, that your original nature is paripurna. Why are you looking for a peace which is not there in the world? You and I may not experience that, but somebody has to tell that to us. This is what scriptures are telling us at this moment. So, as you get established in this knowledge, to that extent, it replaces the lower values, the lower desires. And ultimately, the last desire which is left is desire for self-realization. Are you getting the thought flow or no? How do you remove that incompleteness? Knowledge. With knowledge, all your desires will go. And the final desire which will be left is a desire for self-realization, and that desire is removed in meditation. See, there's a text called Atma Bodha by Adi Shankaracharya. We had studied that, I remember, in 2013 in Troy Temple. We had that class Sunday. In the classroom, we used to do that. Started with 40-50 people, end of it, 7-8 people were left. Monotonously talks about Atman Brahman, Atman Brahman. Nobody can relate to that beyond a point. But I think some of you were there. I don't know. Vijay, you were there? Radha, Radha Veera, I don't know.
Yes, Swamiji.
So you were there. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that book, Atma Bodha, he gives a very fascinating example. It's called as Kataka nut powder. How they purify water. 1,200 years back, he's talking about. So there is a powder made from a fruit, nut. It's called as Kataka nut, huge size. So they sprinkle that powder on the whale. There's a water. So the surface of the water, they spread it. And it forms a thin film on the surface of the water. And there are impurities in water, suspended impurities in water. They stick to the bottom of the film. The film becomes heavy, starts slowly sinking down. And as it starts sinking, more impurities stick to the bottom of the film. The whole thing settles down to the bottom and that powder itself dissolves. This is how they used to purify water 1,500 years back. So what do we learn from this? As you get this knowledge, as you are inspired by the higher values, your lower values, they automatically dissolve. People ask, what about desire for money? What about desire for promotion? What about desire for this, desire that? Nobody can get rid of these desires. It's not possible. The moment you have higher knowledge in your own profession, just for reference, you are genuinely working for your organization. That's the higher desire, right? What happens to your personal selfish desires? They automatically go away eventually. I want more money, I want this. There's nothing wrong with that, but however you get, how much you get, it's not going to go away. If you have that higher ideal, that is that Kataka nut powder, all these suspended impurities, your lower desires, gradually they go away. And then you are able to focus only on your ultimate mission in life. I want to reach the state of self-realization. Till then, it will not surface that desire. It's not possible. But that also is a desire. It's a very powerful desire. But it's so powerful that it will replace all other desires. That's what he's telling us here. But you need a lot of commitment to achieve this, whatever we discussed just now. I mean, it's easier said than done. So therefore, from chapter 2 onwards, monotonously, he's insisting on 2 points. Be unselfish in day-to-day life and self-control. Monotonously, he's saying that. I don't know whether you realize this. Work in the spirit of service and sacrifice. Work in the spirit of service and sacrifice. Chapter 3, poetically, he says that God made human being with this unique capacity to serve and sacrifice. No other creature has that. The poetic way of saying. So what he's telling us is you need to be unselfish in your life. When we say unselfish in your life, meaning at home and at work, this is your life. There's nothing beyond this. Home, what is unselfishness? You do your duties, period. There's nothing else. At work, you don't work for yourself, you work for the cause. Whatever profession you are in, if you're in medicine, you work for the profession of medicine. That's all. How can I help my patients? If you're in business, how can I help my customers? Of course, intelligently, not in a stupid way, understood. And not being indulgent in life, meaning self-control. I repeat, monotonously he has been repeating from chapter 2, be unselfish and be disciplined, self-control, unselfishness, self-control. When you practice this, what is that practice? What is that application? At home, you do your duties. In your profession, how you function. Doesn't matter, you may be the president of America, formula is same. What is that formula? You must work with what? What attitude? How can I serve others? Number one. Number two, you are disciplined, self-control, meaning not indulgent in life. If you follow these two, it will gradually remove your selfish desires. Right now, you are stuck to selfish desires. Are you with me? And how will these selfish desires go away? They will not go away. It's not possible. Therefore, monotonously is being maintaining that. And for that, you need knowledge. It goes without saying. Does it make sense? Verse number 25, please.
शनै शनैरुपरमे बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत् शनै शनैरुपरमे बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्.
Shanai Shanai, so it's a very famous phrase from Bhagavad Gita. Little by little, let him withdraw by the intellect held firm. Having established the mind in the self, let him not think of anything else. So he's obviously talking about meditation. Shanai Shanai. It's a very practical and important advice, not only for meditation, but in your sadhana as such, in all your efforts. So in meditation, when he says Shanai Shanai, slowly you need to withdraw. You can't rush into meditation. You enter the room, close your eyes, immediately boom, Om, Om. It's not going to work that way. You need to take your time. Go to your place of worship where you meditate. You need to prepare, make sure that everything is perfect. And slowly sit or whatever comfortable position, whatever is comfortable position for you. Focus on your breathing. Make sure that your breathing is normal. It takes a while. And then gradually you can start the chant Om. So it takes some time. Are you with me? You can't straight away close eyes and Om, Om. Shanai, Shanai. Slowly you need to withdraw your mind from the world and focus it on the chant Om. So that takes a while. And if mind slips during meditation, slowly bring it back to Om. Mind will slip, even a high seeker, advanced seeker, mind will slip here and there. So slowly you need to bring it back to chant Om or whatever you are chanting. So the entire process, it is a gradual process. And we give a taste of that even in this class every week. Ideally, you're supposed to log in at 9:15, 9:20. We have been saying it repeatedly. We play devotional music. Why do we play devotional music? It takes time for a mind to calm down, isn't it? You're preoccupied with the world, you're engaged in worldly things. So suddenly, how can you come and listen to this? Beyond body, mind, intellect is your essential self. It doesn't register, it goes over your head. I mean, if you log in at 9:32 and the first sentence you hear is beyond body, mind, intellect is your essential self, that's the foundation of your personality. You can't register that. Therefore, Shanai, slowly log in at 9:20, listen to the devotional music which we play. Then together we observe period of silence, meditate. Then we listen to the chanting, and then the lecture starts. If you don't do it, you will not get most of this lecture. So it is in your own interest to do that. And even your spiritual growth, that is second application. First, we talked about meditation. Gradually, you need to get into meditation. The second application of Shanai, meaning slowly, is your spiritual growth is gradual. Overnight, you cannot become Christ. You understand that. You have to understand that. The people, they say, I'm not able to apply this. I'm not able to apply this. When will I apply? When will I apply? Shanai, slowly. Whole life you're ignorant. 30, 40, 50 years. Last 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, you have been exposed to this knowledge. Are you going to become what? Buddha? I mean, in 6 months, 1 year's time, it's not possible. You need to understand that spiritual growth is gradual. Any growth is gradual, but we are talking about your spiritual growth. Number one. Number two, you cannot exceed your capacity. Please understand this. Capacity is what? Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. These are the three spiritual practices. Path of action, path of devotion, path of knowledge. So you can't exceed your capacity. If you are able to study for 15 to 20 minutes, half an hour, you can't suddenly study for an hour. If you do that, you will end up damaging yourself. Forget about meditation. This is what happens when people who are not prepared, they somehow force themselves. They can end up damaging their personality permanently. It is more of an extreme case. Most people cannot meditate, they give up. But as far as you and I are concerned, even your study, if you study beyond your capacity, you will get into trouble. Like my guru is to study for 4 or 5 hours in a day. If you and I do that, I mean, we will get into serious trouble. So understand that spiritual growth is gradual. Number one. Number two, you cannot exceed your capacity to put efforts. Of course, you need to work on increasing it, but it's a gradual process. So it takes a while for your desires to change. That's the main point. Okay, you have egocentric desires, we all have. How can they vanish suddenly? You're attached to, what are you could be attached to? It could be wealth, children, grandchildren, power. Just for reference, I am saying, how can that attachment, possessiveness vanish in 6 months, 1 year's time? It's not going to happen. So you need to understand that. When you understand this, you will be a relaxed seeker. sign that you're going in the right direction, you're growing, is you're relaxed, you're cheerful. Otherwise, always, I want to study, I want to study, I want to study, I have to get up, I want to, we have more of a tension. So your effort should be a pleasant process, isn't it? It's another symptom, I would use that word. I don't know if there's a correct word. The symptom of, or the hallmark of a right seeker, a true seeker, is he is relaxed and he is cheerful because he's putting right efforts. If you don't do that, you may end up harming yourself. It's like a gym. If you work in the gym beyond your capacity, what will happen? In the yoga class, if you stretch beyond your capacity, what will happen? What is supposed to be beneficial to you could be counterproductive. Similarly, spiritual path, your efforts, they are supposed to help you to evolve. But if you exceed your capacity, it may become counterproductive. And when you do that, then he says, let him not think of anything else. That is meditation. Meditation, you are thinking only of the self. That's the only thought. What is understood is there are no other thoughts. That is meditation. You have to dismiss other thoughts in meditation. They will keep coming. You have to dismiss them. The only thought which is left when you dismiss other thoughts is thought of the self. How does it apply to you and me? See, all of you are studying in the morning. Most of you are studying in the morning, right? Or you are attending classes in the week. Once in a week, it could be twice a week. You are attending these classes. You're quite consistent in your study. Great. But what are you doing in between? See, I'm trying to explain, let him not think of anything else. Last part of the verse I'm explaining. Are you with me? So somebody may say, no, every day in the morning I'm studying. Once a week I'm attending these classes. Twice a week I'm attending these classes. Great, hats off to you. But what are you doing in between the two classes? What are you doing during the rest of the week? Find out, ask yourself. I mean, nothing should be taken personally. Most people, there is no connection between what they study and what kind of lifestyle they are having. I'm not saying all of it applies to everybody, but good many people, there is no connection. What they eat, what kind of company they are in, all sorts of indulgences, catering to their attachment, possessiveness. And then seriously, you come and attend these lectures, you study in the morning. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? That's the reason people don't grow. We all heard of a story of a monkey. He's trying to climb a slippery pole. So he goes 5 feet up, he slides down 10 feet. Whole day he's doing that. End of the day, where is monkey? On the pole. Where is that poor monkey? On the pole, end of the day.
At the bottom.
Where he started, or maybe at the
Where he
bottom.
started, yeah.
Where he started. What did he gain? Nothing. That monkey is nothing but you and I. I mean, don't take it, nobody should get offended, but it's a fact of life. You're sincere. Nobody can say you're not sincere. But most of the time you are involved in indulgences of life, in some cases, gross indulgences of life. You're not willing to give up your attachment and possessiveness. That is at a mental level, emotional level. Or you could be in the wrong company, wrong environment, which is not good for your spiritual growth. Yes, you are earning money, but what about your expenses? You have to earn money and also you have to manage your expenses. Then only you can save. So I'm earning money, like I got promotion. Now my package is like $250,000 per annum. Great. Why not? But my expenses are at $350,000. I saw ad for Celestiq. New car Cadillac is launching. $400,000 is the price of that car. My income is $250,000 and I buy a car which is costing $400,000. Very jigger. He is not well today.
Yes, Amiji, I'm here.
Am I lying?
No, that's right.
You only told me. If you're lying, then I don't know. Celestiq. I'm just kidding. How much is that car?
400,000.
There you go. And that is minimum. Then you can customize, isn't
That's
it?
the base price, yeah.
That's the base price. There you go. My income is $250,000. I want to buy a car which is costing $500,000. I'm not saying, I'm giving you funny example. You're earning money, but what about your expenses? You're doing good thing, definitely. Attending these classes, some of you are doing e-learning, and I know you're sincere, but what about your lifestyle? In some cases, there is no correlation. I'm just giving you an example. My life could be like that. In that case, I will not progress. If I'm not progressing, if I'm not improving, because between two lectures, all sorts of indulgences I'm involved in. Therefore, he says, let him not think of anything else. Am I able to convey the message? I mean, I don't know how else to convey. So what we learn here is that word shane, gradually. Spiritual progress is gradual. Don't be harsh on yourself. Understand that it takes time for you to change your personality. Desires don't change, vasanas don't change overnight. It takes a while. So be patient. But the problem with you and me is we are totally preoccupied with the world. So how to come out of that? I will explain next week. Same concept. I'm trying to give a different twist to it. So
Thank you.
that's all for today. Any quick doubt?
Amiji,
Conclude?
I just have one quick question. So
Yeah, who's that? Who's the questioner?
Magdalena?
Yes, please.
So you're saying, we have to also consider changing our environment. I believe that's what you're saying, right? If it's not conducive for our growth, spiritual growth path. But what if we cannot really change the environment? It's not easy to change it. Do you think it will slow down the growth, or is there any advice you can give how to manage through this?
Right. It's a good question. See, I'm magnifying so you'll understand. Then you apply the principle. Now, I spent 7 to 8 years of my life in ashram in India, Vedanta Academy. Full time doing this, nothing else. No news, no media, no TV, no nothing. Now, if anybody can do that, it is ideal. But it's not practical. And it's not, in fact, it's impossible, right? So you must understand the spirit. So wherever you are, whatever environment you are in, you must put efforts not to take negative stimuli from that. See, for example, if your company is not good, some of your friends, they are gossip mongers, for argument's sake, then definitely you can put efforts to avoid that company if you cannot avoid it completely, or you don't participate when they are gossiping. Media bombards you with negative information all the time. So definitely you can cut down on how much of news you listen to, isn't it? What you watch on the TV, your association with social media, you can definitely cut down on that to begin with. How much you socialize, because that is where you take negative stimuli. You can't say that, no, I won't socialize at all. It's not possible. But you can like soft pedal on that. So that is how you can put efforts. And the beauty is, this is what he tells us in verse number 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. He says, once you practice self-control, meaning once you put efforts to withdraw from environment which is not conducive, he says that environment will not come to you. It's fascinating. It is demand and supply. As long as I have a desire for blue label, that blue label alcohol will come to me. Somebody will give it as a gift and whatever. If I don't have a desire for blue label, how can blue label be in my house? That assurance he is giving, it's fascinating. It sounds your question is very right. How can I be not in this environment? This is the environment I am in. If you put efforts, that environment will leave you alone. Meaning, if you are in wrong company, eventually they will leave you alone. People, they want to go do whatever nonsense they are doing. They want to do marijuana, vaping and all. We don't criticize anybody. If you are not interested in that, they will not invite you for that. This is how it works practically. And still you could be good friends with them. You want to do something, you do, but I am not available. But for that to begin with, you need to put efforts. Then this is how divinity helps you. That object will not come into your environment. Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Amaji, if I don't identify with my, or if I do identify with my intellect, how does the word affect me? I can understand with identification with body and mind, the word affects me. But when I don't, when I identify with my intellect, how does the word affect me?
Ideologies.
Okay.
I often give this example. What is conflict between Russia and America?
Okay.
We're not saying who is right, who is wrong. It's not a political discussion. What is that conflict? Russia-America conflict is what? Anybody?
Ideology.
Ideology. We are capitalists, they are communists. Right? The ideology.
Yeah.
I'm Catholic, you are Protestant.
Yeah.
It's ideology.
Right.
I'm Hindu, you are Muslim. It's ideology. Right?
Right. Thank you.
All right, so let's conclude for today. And I'll see you next week or tomorrow. Those who attend Sunday class, Holocaust of Attachment, 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Amitji.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Amaji.
Amaji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you,
Hari Om.
Amitji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.